Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Hello guys. I hope you guys are doing well today because here we're going to discuss people and organization using SOA system integrations. First up, let's begin. First, we will try to discuss what define or service-oriented architecture and its scope. What are the definition of SOA? So, Surface or architecture or SOA business functionality interfaces that communicate through the contracts. What are the components that define the SOA itself? It actually includes a few components such as service registry, service repository, governance, orchestration, and an enterprise service bus. And the layers and boundaries within the OSA surface, orchestration, and integration layers separate concerns while supporting consistent security and monitoring. And the surface-oriented and contract thinking, services encapsulate capabilities behind faces enabling loose coupling and customer-driven composition strategies. Now, we can move into the surface-oriented architectural value overview. The SOA and where sufficient to get a value by the percent or the impact and mass of it, as you can see at the graph here. And now, with the introduction into identify and share goals across the business systems. So, share identity for cross-team integrations. And you'll also have outcome focus for enterprise workflows, problem framing for integration readiness, and integration as a and process needs. So let's talk about the shared identity for operations. Aligning business identity, ownership, and goals help coordinate interfaces and workflow across enterprise systems reliably. And for the outcome focus for the enterprise workflow, as always, consistent outcomes by standardizing how business capabilities are discovered and reused company. So when you have a workflow, you can use the principle to maximize the outcome focus in work. And now problem framing for integration readiness. Where organizations share context, run or fail, data drift, and teams duplicate logic instead of collaborate. And the last one is integration as a people and process need. Effective integrations and share responsibility. And now, why system for reliable workflows? So as you see, there are 3 points that we need to consider to enable a system integration. And why does it matter? The first one is faster deliveries, second one is lower integrations, and the third one is operational reliability. So let's talk about delivery. Faster delivery through coordinated release. What does it mean actually? So, if your teams can deploy independently when services are fresh and clean, cutting regression risk. So you actually can manage and press on the risk much more further if you can deploy independently. So it's enable a faster pace team that can adapt to many situations. And for the second point, which is the lower integration cost and reusable surface reduce anti-one-off point-to-point, making future integration cheaper and implement. And for the operational reliability of computer systems, integration reduces breakage by standardizing message flows, handling error consistently, and enabling control change management. Now, let's move on to our next slide. Okay, as you can see, a graph about the overview on surface-oriented other points. Next slide.
Okay. For the next slide is SOA building blocks and operating model. Service-oriented concept for the people and organization. The number one is introduction and identify for integration teams. Introduce how the organization aligns business goals with shared service and enabling consistent outcome across department and partner. The second is integration problem and business pressure point. Explain why system integration matter when legacy silos slow launch and increase error. And the last one is block data and visibility for decision maker. And the last is SOA definition in an operating model context. Define SOA as a architecture style that structures capabilities as service, governed for reuse and coordinates delivery across domains. Main SOA building blocks and operating governance. Orchestration and workflow coordination mechanism. So how orchestration engine manage multi-step process, well choreography, concept distribute coordination responsibilities. SOA layers, characteristic, and implementation technology. SOA layers is transport, mediation, and management. Outline layered responsibilities from transport security to mediation and service management to support end-to-end delivery. Implement technologies ESB, BPM, and gateways. Map common technologies such as ESB, BPM, sets, API gateway, and integration adapter to realize SOA pattern. Service management layer for monitoring control. Explain how to runtime governance, track performance, audit calls, and applies throttling or routing policies dynamically. And the last is characteristic reuse, autonomy, and discoverability. Highlight autonomy of service, reuse through standard contracts, and discoverability through registry and metadata. SOA vs web service, benefit, and practice case. Benefit of SOA for organization and partner is summarized outcome is like faster integration, reduce duplication, improve agility, and strong governance with reusable service. And then for relationship between SOA and web service is clarify that web service can implement SOA using SOAP or REST. Well, SOA is the broader architectural approach. And then for reference for SOA adoption is conclusion aligning integration with governance, reinformation that successful SOA adoption depend on contract, tooling, and operation discipline, not only technology selection. Next step for building an SOA capability, recommend starting with highly value process, defining service boundaries, and establishing versioning and monitoring standard. The last is reference, implementation, and operation model source. Include reference to ESB or BPM, vendor documentation, integration, version catalog, and academic surveys on SOA outcome. This the service-oriented architecture on the roadmap. And the on top have benefit technologies. And the second have SOA component layer. And the third is SOA defining overview. And the fourth is integration problem. And the last is intro and identity. Number two is continue for Givari.
Okay, so number 3 is outcome technologies and practical example. Next. So characteristic and benefits enabling reuse, scalability, and governance. First, SOA definition, services as reusable business assets. SOA organized business capability into independent service with well-defined contract. These services can be reused across different applications, reducing development effort and improving consistency. Why organizations need integration identity first? Organizations often use multiple systems and departments that need to work together. SOA establish common ownership, standard, and governance so that system can communicate effectively while supporting business objectives. System integration problem, silos blockchains. Traditional point-to-point integration create tightly connected system. As the number of application grows, this connection become difficult to maintain, leading to higher costs, slower innovation, and inconsistent data. And for the core service-oriented concept, contract and loose coupling. SOA promotes loose coupling, meaning service depend only on agreed interfaces rather than internal implementation. This makes system easier to update, scale, and maintain without affecting other service. Next. Okay, now SOA implementation technology and standard for interoperability. First is SOA characteristic. Three key characteristics of SOA are abstraction, reuse, and autonomy. Services hide internal complexity, can be reused by multiple applications, and operate independently. The second is SOA layers. SOA architecture is commonly divided into several layers. The first is consumer layer, is applications or user consuming services. The second layer is integration layer for communication and message routing. The third layer is orchestration layer, coordination of business processes. And the last is governance layer, is for policy, security, and compliance management. Next is main SOA component. Important components include services registry, enterprise service bus or ESB, API gateway, and orchestration engine. For the SOA benefits, organization implementing SOA often experience faster development cycle, improve flexibility, reduce integration costs, and better governance across enterprise system. Next. Okay, SOA and web services relationship plus case study architecture. The first is implementation technology. SOA can be implemented using various technologies such as SOAP for structured XML-based communication, REST for lightweight web service, WSDL or Open API for service definition, and TLS for secure communication. Relationship between SOA and web services. It is important to understand that SOA is an architectural approach, while web services are one method of implementing that architecture. Not all SOA solutions use web services, but web services are commonly used to realize SOA principle. And for the case study, order to cash process, consider a retail company integrating multiple systems. ERP manages inventory, CRM manages customer information, billing system handle payment. Using SOA, the system communicate through reusable service, enabling seamless processing from customer order placement to final payment. And last is architecture diagram. In the architecture, user interact through application that access services via an API gateway. Requests are routed through the ESB, which coordinates communication among business services, while governance policy ensure security, monitoring, and compliance. Next, overview. This chart summarizes the value delivered by SOA across different stages of integration. The introduction phase establishes governance and integration identity. Understanding integration challenges increase awareness of the need for SOA. Defining SOA concept provides a framework for service reuse. For SOA component enable efficient communication and orchestration, and the highest value is achieved through improved agility, faster delivery, reduced cost, and enhanced scalability. So overall, the trend demonstrates that as organizations mature in their SOA adoption, they gain greater business and technical benefit. Next. So in conclusion, service-oriented architecture provides as a structured approach to integrating enterprise system through reusable, loosely coupled service. Thank you for your attention. Uh, that's all from us. Thank you. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.